Just filing it. The fact that over and over again lawyers have had to apply and they have not appealed it, they have not said, no, this cannot stand, no, this is against what the Supreme Court of Nigeria has said. It would seem that they've just maintained total silence on it.
Let me explain this to you. I will not sit down here and defend the abuse of human rights. I will never do it. And I will always advocate for the rights of everybody. But let me also tell you this, though, that what people don't know is that once you are involved, like the case of Dasuki, in multiple allegations, and I've explained this before, that if you are arrested on this allegation, you are investigated, you are charged to court like he has been done, and I'm sure you see the multiple allegations coming up every day, and somebody comes out tomorrow to say, oh, somebody was arrested for rape yesterday, he was charged because he was granted bail. As he was granted bail, somebody comes to say, this man was involved in armed robbery yesterday. He has to be arrested again for armed robbery, and a fresh investigation begins. So that's it. For this present bail that has been granted him, I wish they could respect the orders of the court. But then, the briefing that, you know, I may seek later is to see exactly whether there are other issues like has happened before, that have arisen again. And I'm sure you see that there are hundreds of people, you know, linked up with this Dasuki gate. You know that they were sharing money as if money, you know, had gone out of fashion.
What do we make of this journalist, for instance, who was also arrested by the DSS and has not been taken to trial? It's been 2 years. I mean, we also have a situation whereby the Department of State Security doesn't have a spokesperson anyone can relate with. It's, as a security agency, cannot be held accountable by anyone. When it does hold briefings with journalists, it refuses to answer questions. And as such, I mean, under such circumstances, can we really say that the rule of law is being upheld, you know, under this government, especially when security agencies behave in that manner?
Don't forget that the rule of law also involves protecting majority of Nigerians against things that border on state security. I'll give you an example. Would you sit down here, Maokbe, and advocate that somebody, like if Shekau is arrested tomorrow, the leader of Boko Haram, would you sit down here tomorrow and advocate after 6 months that he has to be released or charged to court or something? When they'll be involved, they will be investigating multiple, you know, deaths he would have caused and all kinds of things he would have caused. Would you sit down here tomorrow? And I'll tell you this too.
The point is,
perhaps you're not seeing it in this angle.
Mr. Keyamo, I want to believe that there is a legal process for detaining someone for much longer than what the law stipulates, especially when security is involved, isn't there?
Have you heard of certain instances before, and I'm sure you heard, where they go to court to obtain orders to detain people? The opposition still cries foul.
In these instances that we have mentioned, has the federal government gone to court to secure?
If you don't even go to court to obtain, those are done as a matter of surplusage. I am saying that if it's a matter of treason or treasonable felony or capital offense, the government is not restricted by the 24-hour rule provided for in the Constitution. Well, once national security is involved.
Journalists are not the only one raising this. Only on Wednesday this week, the Nigerian Senate raised a motion alarming rise in cases of alleged human rights violations and consistent assault on the provisions of the 1999 Constitution by the executive. These are some of the issues that they have raised, in addition to, according to them, high-handedness in the, in the handling of the IPOB matter. They talked about continuous incarceration of the leader of the Islamic Movement of Nigeria, which has already been mentioned, lack of accountability for human rights violations by security agencies and other militant elements, including armed herdsmen, heavy-handed violent responses to peaceful protest, as exemplified by previous crackdown on agitators for independent state of Biafra, and the recent violent clashes between the police and suspected members of the IMN who were protesting release of their leader, Sheikh Ibrahim El-Zakzaki, in Abuja and Kaduna, respectively. Now, this is among a list of other violations, according to them, which they listed. They are getting alarmed.
They are not the judiciary. That's my simple response to them. They have no right to pass judgments. They are lawmakers.
They are lawmakers, but they have a right.
No, they have no right to pass judgment.
They have a right to debate what is going on.
What you are reeling out now appears to be like a judgment of a court.
Not a judgment.
They are just opinions of lawmakers.
These are their concerns.
But just opinion of lawmakers. They are not judgment. Because each and every case that you pick up there, there's a legitimate response to each and every of those cases you picked up there. And we responded to one or two of them. So, I mean, that is not an issue at all. It's not an issue at all.
Well, let us look at, even the man whom you defend. You have said that he embodies integrity. Would you also defend those? Some people have said, well, the president might be, an embodiment of integrity, but he definitely has his flaws. And one of the flaws they have been able to point out is allegations of nepotism, especially in terms of his appointments. One of the places they point to is the security chiefs. A lot of Nigerians cannot understand why it's not like as if, from what we have seen so far in terms of the security challenges that the country has faced, it's not like I said they're doing a fantastic job. Why does it seem that the president is so loyal to the security chiefs that he's appointed?
The issues of nepotism doesn't hold water. It exists in the air. It's actually sentimental, balderdash, because the service chiefs, you have 2 from the north and 2 from the south. So the facts do not support what you are saying. It is actually the heads of some security agencies that are from a part of the country. I admit that. The NIA, the DSS, and I think one again. But then also, the economic team of the government, they are all from the south. Almost all of them from the south. No core northerner from the economic team of government. So in some instances, the president may tilt to certain areas. In some other instances, he will tilt to the opposite areas. He has his whole appointments in front of him, like a bird's eye view. And so he needs to balance all of it at the end of the day. So you know that the economic team of the president, and you know that there's no northerner. Have you seen them shouting that they are not part of the economic team, which is at the heart of the survival of Nigeria? So he balances it once in a while. In the Federal Executive Council, do you know you have 18 ministers who are Christians and 18 ministers who are Muslims? Do you realize that? And then the head of service and the secretary to the government that sits in that Executive Council every week are both Christians. So you have more Christians sitting at the Executive Council every week than Muslims. And I was telling somebody about these statistics 2 days ago. You know what the president said? He said, no, he said, if we go to statistics, we cannot win this war. It's just sentiment. And so the person told me that they just want to raise sentiment.
I want to believe that, that there is definitely a reason why we have the federal character. When you talk about balance, I don't think that if, for instance, there is favor to the south in terms of a composition of a particular unit and favor to the north in composition of another unit, there definitely is something wrong.
No, but you are saying that there must be balance in every microcosm of every appointment of every department. So that's
in
what
every
I'm saying.
important appointment.
No,
in every
all he needs to do is to
body,
balance his entire appointments. That's all he needs to do, because
is that what the law requires?
Based on his own perception of what he was. He's the commander-in-chief.